Well, it's day 3. It's the morning. Just woke up. I tried sleeping outside under the hammock, but it didn't quite work out. The temperature dropped way too low for me, and the crappy ass hammock that I had didn't retain the heat on my back and my lower body. Just had the blanket over me and it wasn't cutting it. As you can see, tarp was fine, but this mesh design was terrible. It dropped about 55 degrees last night and I was freezing to death, so I actually had to jump back into the bivy bag inside the tent. About to gonna make some breakfast. It's still kind of cold outside, so figured I'm gonna make a fire and show you how I started the fire last time with the char cloth. I have some pine needles and some wood chips from when I made the spear. I'm gonna spark this. It's gonna turn hot. I'm gonna blow on it until I can create some sort of a fire, and then put some wood on top of it, and then I should have a pretty good fire, and I'll let you know how it works out. I guess I must have had a beginner's luck last night, because I can't get it started with the char cloth. I wasted all my char cloth. I'm gonna have to make more. Right now I'm gonna try to do the magnesium block trick, because I don't want to use my Aurora fire starter. But I guess the pine needles were too damp this morning to catch. They just smoked a little bit, nothing too big. Day 3. I have made fire. It didn't really work on the wood, so I just used a leaf, a bunch of leaves, and then put the magnesium on the leaf, sparked the leaf, bang, went up, and then just kept the fire going and threw sticks on it. That's pretty much how it worked. Later. There is an entire gaggle of Canadian geese that just came over to the campsite. Now, normally if there was no one here, I probably would chase one down, beat it to death, and finally have some dinner. However, there is an RV over there, and I want to seem like a complete psychopath. So, these guys are going to get a free meal today, without any problems from me. Well, I started here. I worked my way up right through this little marshland, and I thought I was going here. That's what it initially looked like, but in actuality I really walked my way up here. I didn't use the compass or anything because I don't have a topographical map. I just have this printout off the internet because there is no topographical map for this damn place. So this looks like this. Compare the map to reality. There's the little fork, and it goes off that way. Alright, I've chosen this spot to create my survival debris shelter. The ground is relatively flat, has a lot of debris around it, and it's well covered by trees, so get me out of the sunlight. Okay, what I just did is I cut down a living tree about 6 feet long, 6.5 to cover my body, and 2 small pieces about the same size and length to create an A-frame. Okay, the original 2 smaller sticks weren't big enough, so I had to cut down another small tree and use those 2 sticks for the rest of the frame. As you can see, the basic A-frame is now set up, and I just got to create the body. Okay, the skeleton is up. As you can see, I've layered it all the way down to the bottom. What they don't tell you in any survival books is getting the longer branches to make the entrance is a lot harder to find than the smaller pieces at the end. So be warned that it will take quite some time to find the pieces to match the opening of your entrance. Now what I did here was when I cut down the A-frame pieces, the tree leaves were actually quite large and soft, so what I did is I made a small little bed to bee just bit me. Okay, now up to stage 3. I took those same leaves and cut down a few more branches around the neighborhood because there seems to be an abundance of these trees. And I covered the outside layer with fresh leaves. That's what it looks like inside. Alright, this is almost the final stage. I'm actually going to stop constructing this thing because the park ranger came by, looked through his vehicle, didn't look too happy. But, whatever. So, this is pretty close to being done, a debris shelter. It's got about 40% more to go. The leaves should probably be way up about here. About this high. And take a look inside. This should be windproof and waterproof and retain heat at night. Novice lesson number 1, you only learn by doing. This structure that I've made is actually too short for me. Believe it or not, I made a 6-foot long pole as the length, but because I'm 5'4", but as you can see, my elbow is right at the opening, so I should have made this at least 7 feet long to compensate. So there's lesson number 1. Here's a pretty dried up marshland. I thought it was interesting because you can see the different tracks that different animals leave. Like, I believe this is a raccoon. You got some deer hoof prints over here. Deer, deer, and human. Interesting. After about a 6-minute battle in the woods, I caught myself a standard North American garter snake. Look at him. It's pretty. He was a tough guy to catch. He sneaked up on me, and then I had to find a branch to catch him with. But, yep. There he is. Isn't he beautiful? I'm going to let him go, though. I'm not going to. There he is. He's free. For now. Now I've created a spring snare based on the information in the survival book. I have the anchor pole right here with the notch. I have the spring anchor with the notch up on the tree. I have a bait line with bait on top of it. I have a pole very loose in the ground just to hold the bait up. This is our simulated animal. And I have the roping device attached to the end of the tree. Let's see if this thing works. Let's see if this thing will take. There it goes. I have snared me some food, bitches. Now, to be honest, it took about 7 or 8 times to get it right. Alright, so the trick is you got to get just a little bit of that lip on the spring anchor on the anchor stake, or else it's not going to work. That's what I've learned.